else that happens, and that's that we begin to see progress in our life. Our marriage gets better. Our home becomes more peaceful. Our children become more calm. And we know better how to engage and handle our neighbors. We know how to behave ourselves better on the job. And so we began to establish a proven track record of first coming under the authority of God and proving that we are genuine believers and that we are not going to give up on this thing. And when we're convinced and convicted, we then determine to pass on these wonderful truths about God and His desire for us, His will for us to our children. And so with great enthusiasm, we take our children to the pages of Scripture after having first role modeled them these truths ourselves. And we can say within ourselves that life has been better for us since we've known God. And since it's been better for us, we know it'll be good for you. And we're going to pass it on to our children. And so with a diligence and a love unsurpassing, we train our children to obey their parents in the Lord, because we have been made stewards and guardians over your well-being. And whatever the best there is in life, that is what we will teach you. That is what we will model before you. And when we blow it, we're not going to act like we're perfect. We're going to come to you and say we blew it. And if we sin, we'll come to you and say we sinned. And that mommy and daddy will get right back on the right track. And so then it can be sad when we ask our children to obey us, when we ask our children to honor our words, our teachings, that it will be well with you. Reasonable-minded children will say, that's got credibility. I'm willing to come under that. Obey your parents in the Lord, for it's right. If they're struggling and working that hard in their lives to be the best they can for you and for God and for the community, the world in which they live, it's only right that you listen to them. It's only right that you come under their teachings and not flap around in the world and make their job difficult. It's hard enough as it is in the world, with all the influences of reality TV telling you that a team of boys should be trying to get the attention of one girl, kissing and putting their tongue all down their throat. When Britney Spears is saying it's okay for you to get out of the car with a dress so short that you can see all the way up her legs, it's only right that you listen to us, because we're trying to head off a train wreck in your life. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment, with a promise to us, to children. And he says that if you honor, you pay what is due, give them the due respect, God says, I'm going to back it up with God-like authority, with only God authority, to make it well with you. And even though there are some circumstances, some tragedy where things that happen to young people, the rule is that if you follow God, that it is more likely, the predominant number of times, to go well with you in your life. And it is the exception when it will not. I will tell you this, that the predominant number of children who are settled down in their life and have decided that they will adhere to the truths of the Bible, the principles of the Bible, the morality of the Bible, pursuits and preparing themselves for life, and not getting carried away with all the junk of the world, that those children are more likely to enter into the world with the right ideas about how they are to live their life, and are more likely to have and experience a fulfilling life. They're more likely to have and experience a better relationship with their husband and wives one day. They're more than likely to integrate with society and be accepted and have something of value to give to that society. They're more than likely to be honorable in the world and useful and a blessing to the world than the child who will break every rule, who will rebel against God, who will rebel against society, who will be a menace to society, who will do their own thing, their own way, when they want to, how they want to, sit in corners and in hidden rooms of the house and get high on drugs and ecstasy, having their mind blown, walking with the devil and demons in a mystical world of forget it all. See, those that walk with God have the promise that when you try to do right in this world, God will be with you. And when you disrespect and disconnect with your parents who brought you into this world, and especially good, godly Christian parents who are trying to bring themselves under control and do the right thing by you, you're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction when you decide to do it your own way. And so the intimation is that if you honor your mother and father, and God says, I'll back up your mother and father's teachings, and I'll back up my word, and I'll make sure if you try to be the best person you can be in this world, if you leave this world a better place than it was when you found it, you make that commitment to God. God says, it will go well with you. I'll be with you. I'll meet you down the road of life. And I will, through my ability, God said, to bend and mold and straighten providences of life, I will make it go well with you. When you put an equal sign next to it and sum it all up, one day when you when you enter into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, you'll be able to say with the psalmist, I've been young and now I'm old, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken. But if you insist on not honoring your mother and father, blowing them off, hardening your heart, becoming desensitized to what they say, rolling your eyes, then you're developing a pattern and a practice, an addiction, a propensity to rebel. And eventually you're going to rebel against everything that you know in your heart is good about life. And you spend enough time rebelling against what has been proven to work, then eventually you're going to crash. They say the Titanic couldn't sink. And young people think that they're invincible and you can't sink. But all it takes is a little iceberg of instability, the iceberg of lacking discipline. And you get enough of those little icebergs and it'll rip up the most formidable ship in the world, the most formidable life in the world. You could have everything going for you, coming from a good home, lots of resources and money. But the fact of the matter is that when you decide to go your own way apart from God and the instructions of your parents, what you